This is a story from a time before Lycaros bared its fangs at Hyndler and Rundal. The fact that we shared a border with the superstate that was Lycaros likely played no small part in this. But there had always been a deep bond and long-standing friendship between Hyndler and Rundal. My brother Oberon and I were born into the royal family of Hyndler. And then there was Jaden, the Prince of Rundal. The three of us were childhood friends, and the time we spent together was practically uncountable. Jaden often came to visit our castle with the absolute smallest entourage he could get away with. My brother admired Jaden as if they were born of the same blood, and Jaden in turn took my brother under his wing. Jaden was always up to something, and my brother was always there to help him regardless of how it gnawed at his nerves. Every time they were up to no good, their mischievous schemes would eventually come to light, and the repercussions were always substantial. But when that happened, Jaden would protect my brother, saying that it was all his doing. After they were released from their chidings, the two would show no signs of having learned any lesson and laugh themselves silly once the adults were out of sight. I could never understand how any of this could give them so much joy. But at the same time, I envied them. I wanted to be a part of what they had, and this sentiment rarely left my mind. I was tired of always staring at Jaden's back. I wanted him to look at me in the same way I looked at him, and so I made up my mind. When I turned 16, my father asked me what I wanted for my birthday, to which I answered with a certain specific request. After coming of age, those two delinquents found a new distraction. They had lost interest in terrorizing the adults with their mischief and developed an obsession with hunting instead. And with this, the ministers and dignitaries at the castle could breathe easy, knowing that peace would finally return to the halls. In the beginning, the targets of their hunts were the swift beasts and birds. But Jaden soon grew bored of them and yearned for a stronger, more thrilling quarry. What he desired was monsters that would put up a fight.
What's the matter? Don't tell me fear is starting to get the better of you.
Maybe it is a little too soon for us to be venturing into monsters' lairs.
Too soon? Don't be ridiculous. Sooner or later, we're going to take to the battlefield. We'll probably find ourselves fighting against Lycaros someday too.
How could we possibly face a nation as big as Lycaros? It is folly. We would stand no chance of winning.
You're not wrong there. As we are right now, we probably wouldn't stand a chance against them. Which is why we need to stare death in the eyes and hone ourselves against monsters. After all, I'm gonna unify Ardra and stand as its one true ruler.
The one true ruler?
Yeah, that's right.
If anyone can do it, I am sure it will be you, Lord Jaden.
Hey, enough of that lord business. How many times do I have to tell you? The two of us are equals. There's no hierarchy between us. We may not share the same blood, but we're family.
Family?
Actually, as far as I'm concerned, our bond is something that goes beyond that. You know it's true.
I am honored, Lord Jaden.
Didn't I tell you not to call?
Lord Jaden?
Monsters. Draw your weapon. Are you nervous?
Yes.
Your palms get sweaty when you're nervous. You've always been that way.
That's true.
No matter what happens, don't you let go of that spear. Monsters won't give you a second chance just because your hand slipped. Understood?
Yes. Can I ask you something?
What is it?
Don't you get nervous at all, Lord Jaden?
Of course I do. I mean, going into a monster's den without an armed escort like this is a first, even for me. One wrong move, and we might meet our maker down here. But am I scared? No. Hell, I'm almost excited.
Excited?
There will be times when we find ourselves in a bad place. But when that happens, I'm gonna claw my way out. And when I do, I will be even stronger for it. I can feel it in my bones.
Lord Jaden.
Let us do this. Steel yourself and stay close. Okay.
Oh no!
Oberon, jump!
What?
Trust me, jump, and jump high!
Lord Jaden!
Nice work, Oberon. That was a thing of beauty.
No, It was all you, Lord Jaden. If you were not here,
But I am here, right here by your side.
Oh,
You know it's true.
of course.
This is our victory. We earned it together.
You're right.
Huh.
There are so many of them.
They must have caught the scent of blood and figured it was mealtime. Oberon, stay sharp.
I will.
What the?
Alaya, what are you doing here?
That's some fine iron you have there. Let's put these monsters down and wrap things up.
My brother was taken by surprise to see me with guns in my hands. I expected him to criticize me for taking up firearms and not a spear, the traditional weapon of Heindler. But my brother did nothing of the sort. Jaden, on the other hand.
Nice guns. You'd better become a gunner worthy of owning them.
From that day, no longer was I the girl who merely followed them around. When my brother was busy, sometimes Jaden and I would even go hunting together, just the two of us. On those occasions, Jaden would teach me how to shoot, without as much as a complaint.
Let's start with your breathing.
Breathing? What I want to learn is how to be good with a gun. That way, I can stand alongside you and...
There's no way to just be good at it.
What?
And not just guns. This goes for magic, swordplay, everything. If you think that by learning some simple trick, you'll be able to suddenly hold your own in battle, then I'm going to have to disappoint you, because that's nothing more than delusion. There's no way to get stronger. It just happens as a result of experience being laid upon fundamentals. And if you can't understand that, then the battlefield is going to be your grave.
I'm sorry.
I don't ever want to see that happen. So don't you dare forget what I teach you. Got it?
Yes, I understand. So, breathing, was it?
Breathe like a gentle wind. Pull the trigger like a bird taking flight. And never focus so much on aiming that you hold your breath.
I shouldn't hold my breath?
If we're talking about a one-shot duel, sure, why not? But what happens when you're facing multiple enemies? If you hold your breath every time you take aim, you'll just run out of wind and make it harder to stay in the battle. We have to stay on the move when we take our guns to the battlefield. Keep that in your mind at all times.
I will. Breathe like a gentle wind. Pull the trigger like a bird taking flight.
Next, how to hold a gun. Position your hand as high up on the grip as you can, and close your palm around it completely. Then, relax into your firing stance, with the barrel of the gun drawing a straight line from your shoulder. Keep your elbows slightly bent.
A straight line from the shoulder?
That's right. And don't underestimate how much a gun can kick back when you fire it. If you're too rigid when you pull the trigger, you can end up hurting your wrists. On the battlefield, that can be a death sentence. Naturally, when battle gets chaotic, you can hardly worry about stances and firing form. But remember, it only takes one bullet to turn the tide. No firing wildly. One shot can change everything.
I understand.
The next most important thing is predicting the enemy's movements. This doesn't apply as much for point-blank range, but when you pull the trigger in other situations...
There's a delay before the bullet hits its mark.
Exactly. So in order to land your shots on opponents who are moving or making use of cover...
One needs to be able to read their opponent's movements.
You're starting to get it. While we're on that topic...
My training with Jaden continued. We went to various places and faced all manner of monsters so that I could hone my skills. Our time alone together was hardly as sweet as I imagined it would be. But even so, it served its purpose to bring us closer together. Soon there were more and more days when we did not return to the castle immediately after training. We gazed at the setting sun, and I wished from the bottom of my heart that those days would never end. Neither of us spoke, but it was not an uncomfortable silence that we shared. It was a silence in which we understood each other without words. One day, Jaden escorted me back to Hindler Castle after we finished our training. When we parted ways, he gave me a bundle before taking his leave. He offered few words as to what it was, simply saying that I should wear it if it made me happy. I took the bundle back to my chambers. The contents were exactly what I dreamed they would be. A white dress, pure as snow. My heart soared. He had proposed to me. Heat rushed to my face. The sounds of the world around me were drowned beneath the thundering palpitations of my heart. Happiness was the only word to describe what I felt in that moment. I was ready to burst out from my chambers, dash to Rundal Castle, and dive in Jaden's arms. But I dared not do such a thing. For I felt that if I moved as much as an inch, I would wake to find it was but the fleeting embrace of a dream. I decided to tell Jaden of my feelings the next time we met. The feelings that I had kept hidden in my heart for the longest of times. But fate intervened, and I did not get my chance to do so. Lycaros had suddenly and inexplicably marched its troops upon Rundal and Hindler. The king of Lycaros's justification was simple. He claimed that Rundal and Hindler colluded to invade his kingdom, and that he merely launched a preemptive attack in response to this. These claims were backed by neither truth nor fact. Desperate pleas for peaceful resolution were made, but these resulted only in both Hindler and Rundal losing their kings. It did not end there. Jaden and Oberon played into the king of Lycaros's treacherous schemes and were taken prisoner. We march to take the head of the ignoble king of Lycaros. Long have we endured the superstate's arrogance in the name of mutual prosperity, but no more! On this day, we free Jaden and my dear brother Oberon from their imprisonment! May the dragon fly with us!
Hurrah!
Before we could reach the lands of Lycaros, the Six Fangs caught up to us and blocked our march. Stand aside!
I am afraid I can do no such thing.
But why?
You have too few troops at your disposal.
Are you suggesting I might fail?
Yes, without any doubt. If you are determined to adhere to your path, then you will have to defeat us to proceed.
I had no choice but to give in. Impatience haunted my every thought. Sadness clenched my heart. How many sleepless nights did I endure? I was in a constant state of deliberation. What could I do to help them? But the conclusion I reached was always the same. There was naught I could do. I cursed my powerlessness. I feared for what Jaden and my brother must be suffering. My mind constantly strayed to the darkest of places, and the tears continued to flow. There was a reason why Jaden and my brother were not executed. The king of Lycaros desired the ancient ring, but Rundal refused to cooperate. For if they handed over the ring, Lycaros would execute the two princes and move to wipe Heindler and Rundal from the maps. But the king of Lycaros had made it clear that he would only release his prisoners in exchange for the ring. Eventually, the stalemate negotiations ended with Rundal breaking. They had until dawn to relinquish the ring. The king of Lycaros made it clear that if they did not comply by then, he would execute both Jaden and my brother. Would the two of them truly be released once the ring was delivered? There was no assurance that would happen, but it was the only means we had of saving them. The agreement was that the envoys from Rundal would go to Lycaros Castle at dawn. What would happen once the ring was in Lycaros' possession? Surely there would be none left willing to stand against the even greater power that Lycaros would become. Heindler and Rundal, as we know them, would be dismantled, annexed, and ultimately destroyed. Who's there? What brings you here at this hour?
The forces of Rundal, they...
Yes, I know. I am told they will relinquish the ancient ring at dawn.
No, you do not understand. They have launched a surprise attack on Lycaros.
What?
They are engaged in battle this very moment. Lady Alaya!
We deploy immediately. Give the order for our entire army to march.
As you command.
The defense of the castle was but an afterthought. For if we could not emerge victorious, the defeat that awaited us would be our last. The forces of Heindler marched for Lycaros Castle. But it was soldiers from Lycaros whom we came upon first. We were still in the lands of Heindler. Why were these soldiers here? The reason soon became clear to us. The soldiers had fled from the walls of their very own castle. This told us that Rundal had the upper hand. If we were to strike at the castle now, we could surely break Lycaros. Brother!
Laya, is that you?
Worry not. His Highness suffers no grievous wounds.
I see. That is a relief.
His heart, however, has been deeply scarred. I think it best we rush His Highness back to the castle to convalesce.
I agree. What of Jaden?
He lives. Lord Jaden remained in the castle alone after we escaped our cell.
What? All by himself?
That is correct. He took the inner chambers of the castle and slew Lycaros' king.
Please, see to my brother. Jaden.
You look well.
I did not think I would see you again.
Did you like the dress?
Yes, it was just what I wanted.
Good to know. I'm here now.
You kept me waiting. Not long after, a ceremony to commemorate our victory was held between Rundal and Hindler. Jaden kindly suggested that we could wait until my brother had recovered. But both our nations had lost their kings, and without them we were collectively leaderless. A kingdom is not without its king. And thus I implored that we should hold the ceremony as an opportunity to at least appoint Jaden as the new king of Rundal. I thought that as long as Rundal maintains its agency as a kingdom, then as its ally we would have nothing to fear from the other nations. We could always hold another coronation on a royal scale once my brother had recovered.
Thank you all for gathering here today. It is regretful that Oberon is unable to join us, but he will soon recover and we shall hold his coronation then. And when we do, I want it to be grand. The reason this ceremony is taking place today was originally so that I could declare my succession of the throne of Rundal anew. However, I do not believe that the audience before me needs such a reassurance. Each and every one of you already knows that the bond I have forged with Hindler is everything to me. I gave Elia a white dress, pure as snow. I handed it to her with a simple message: to wear it if it made her happy. Elia. Elia.
Oh, how long I waited for this day to come. There were times when I even worried that it never would. But I'm glad that I had faith.
You look beautiful.
And you most gallant, exactly like you did in my dreams.
Look only at me, and only with your own eyes.
Jaden. Once my betrothal to Jaden was affirmed, Jeter, who was in league with the Sanctum, put into motion his plans to splinter Heindler and Rundal. In the beginning, I did not lend so much as an ear to the rumors. But soon Rundal began overrunning its neighboring nations. The rumors grew into stories of pillage and plunder. That they had even destroyed the kingdom of Golbe, trampled the V clan, and taken their leaders captive for Jaden's concubine chambers. These acts were no different from those of Lycaros. And thus I took matters into my own hands. If I could not make up for Jaden's misdeeds with my own acts, I would ensure we depart this world together in death. I did this oblivious to the fact it was all part of the scheme woven by Jeter in the Sanctum. I allowed the various rumors to sway me, and forgot the words of the one who mattered most to me. He told me to look only at him, to believe only in him. Yet I was driven not by what I had seen myself, but the dark intentions of others. And as a result, Rundal Castle was swallowed in flames. This shall be far enough.
No need to be courteous with us, Your Highness. You are important to Rundal. We are happy to place our lives at your disposal should it be necessary.
Indeedly so. We'll be delivering you right up to the doorstep of Heindler Castle, thank you very much.
Do you not understand? Lady Alaya has no further need for you.
That is enough, Ravelka.
But, Your Highness... Just because they offer a helping hand, it does not mean...
They do not have ill intentions for us. They saved us from our plight, did they not?
They did.
Now then, even as we speak, Grifford, soldiers from Heindler are likely going to all lengths to find us.
That's a fair assumption.
If we happen to be discovered...
Oh, ho, ho, ho! Is it our heads you're concerned for?
Worry not. If we encounter any of your people, we'll back off nice and easy. We wouldn't hurt them even if you hadn't voiced your concerns. Come now, Princess. What's this? You look as if you don't believe me.
Do you truly think I am yet to catch on? Something has befallen Jaden, hasn't it? Do not try to say otherwise.
All right, I won't. But know that the situation is far worse than you imagine.
What?
I see now. You thought that if you delivered Lady Alaya back to Heindler safely, King Oberon would spare the broken forces of Rundal.
Feel free to interpret it as you please.
You are well within your power to take me as a hostage. So why is it that you do not?
Perhaps I should set the record straight. There is no one worth a damn in Rundal who thinks poorly of you, Your Highness. Even with all that has happened looming over us. Many surely think that all of this is just some manner of misunderstanding. Which is why the thought of taking you hostage never crossed our minds. And that's all there is to it.
Lady Alaya? Is something the matter?
I may have been looking at these events as if I saw them with my very own eyes, when in fact I did not.
Lady Alaya?
I cast my memory back to the time when Jaden proposed. My love for him was true, but I could not ignore the unpleasant rumors I had heard about him.
And as such, you were reluctant towards your betrothal?
My mind was set, but if I am to speak honestly, part of me was uneasy. It was then that he said to look at him, only with my own eyes. He meant for me to look at all matters in my own way and make judgments for myself. And yet,
Lady Elia,
I would ask for your ongoing protection. I must find the truth and discern it for what it is with my own eyes.
As you command, Your Highness.